everybody, and welcome to the Umineko.
What are you, Natsui?
No, I'm Maloney.
You're a Maloney?
I'm Maloney.
Melanie
Ushiramiya, the new
character. The brand spanking new character.
Yeah, I made her just for the podcast show of the Uminekos. Melania Trump.
Melania Trump. Ivanka Trump.
That word did nothing but glaze blankly out the window.
I don't think it says that.
Badler did nothing but glaze blankly out the window.
Sure.
The fighting between the relatives went on without end. Poor relatives.
Poor relatives. But hey, at least they got a bunch of money now.
At first, the relatives had crowded around the study. However, no matter how much they knocked, the master of the study did not answer even once. Ava and several others said they should open the door with a second key, the one Genji had. However, in a flash of brilliance, Natsui said that Kinzo had been in a particularly bad mood and had taken back the key he'd previously given Genji, which meant that he now had both keys himself. Genji doesn't have the key.
Bullshit, he's dead!
She claimed Genji's dead?
No, Kinzo's dead, so he couldn't take the keys.
No, he's in a bad mood.
No, he's dead!
If you don't believe in it, then the illusion doesn't exist.
I don't believe in it.
Okay, well, I believe.
You believe? What? Get out of here.
She claimed that this was the reason they couldn't open the door. After she promised to let them meet Kinzo tomorrow morning no matter what, she finally returned to the dining hall. But of course the argument continued on even there. Ava's group needed a lot of cash very soon, and they were trying to threaten Klaus somehow and make him pay up. Apparently Battler solving the epitaph threatened Klaus's position as the successor, which gave the others a powerful tailwind. On the other side, Klaus and Natsui based their argument on the claim that it had never been specified that ownership of the gold would be handed over to the person who solved the epitaph.
Wasn't that like the thing that everyone was like, no, Natsui, you're dumb? Wasn't that everybody telling Natsui that she can't do that?
Well, of course that's what they'd say.
I mean, yeah.
They won the money.
Yeah.
It hadn't been hidden gold, but simply Kinzo's stockpile, and it was still Kinzo's property, which meant it would naturally be distributed after Kinzo's death with the rest of the inheritance. Once they made that claim, Ava's group once again started demanding to be allowed to see Kinzo, because Kinzo could settle it. It had probably been obvious to them from the beginning. This sibling fight could only be settled by Kinzo. This was obviously a confrontation between Ava's group, which wanted cash fast, and Klaus, who was hiding his lack of funds but still didn't need money right away. As he listened vaguely to this exchange, Battler marveled at how, despite their usual affluent airs, they were surprisingly deep in debt.
Didn't you say the same thing a short while ago? Enough, let's take a break. We're all repeating the same thing over and over again.
According to the clock, it was almost midnight. It certainly was a perfect time for a break. The atmosphere relaxed just a bit. I agree. It'll be good for both sides to take a breather. Hey, why don't we start keeping a record when we start up again? I'm tired of fighting over what was or wasn't said.
Seriously, we really can't do without a record of proceedings now when Nissan can so easily deny something he said before the words stop reverberating off the walls.
A mere written record would be a pain, and it'd be an easy target for forgery.
Good point. You want to fire this up? A tape set, is it? I see. This way we can keep a record without bothering to write it down. Unfortunately, it would be impossible. It's fair for both sides.
Make sure you don't mess anything up. Those are Father's precious music tapes. The dignified tape set had a sense of weight to it that matched this majestic dining hall perfectly. On pleasant Sunday mornings, it would sometimes be used to play famous tapes or records. He was getting into the Beatles.
The Beatles. Fucking
Dr.
Pink Floyd.
Frank Sinatra.
All those.
That's what Kinzo likes. Rudolph fished randomly around the cassette rack, searching for a blank tape. And every time he found some tape with sophisticated music on it, he'd complain about how pompous it was. Pardon me, you called?
We're taking a break. Sorry, but could you make us something to drink? And maybe some biscuits would be nice too.
Certainly. I will see to it right away.
Also, sorry, but do you have any cold medicine? I've been feeling a bit feverish. Then don't overstrain yourself. Get some sleep. If you really feel like it, why not get some sleep, Rosa? Of course, I wouldn't step out of such an important conference because of a simple cold. Really? Allow me to take a rest as well. Nancy, why don't we take a short rest too?
Yes, dear. Sensing that he might have a strategy meet-up, Natsui stood up. Even if that hadn't been the case, she was so desperate to get out of the room even for a moment that she'd have taken any excuse. Klaus and Natsui left the dining hall, and the tension in the room truly relaxed. You've been doing great, Battler. I imagine you feel just horrible. Think of this as part of growing up and just accept it.
Just how long am I gonna have to sit around here doing nothing?
Who knows? After all, you're like our own portable shrine. Sleepy?
About as much as as your average school class.
I'm pretty sure Father isn't going to show up tonight anyway. When Kraus and the rest come back, I'll propose that we might as well let you go.
I'll be counting on you.
Knock, knock.
Nook, nook.
Thanks, Malcolm.
No problem. I'm Malcolm now.
A white knock and the faint sound of china clinking together could be heard. Excuse us. We brought tea. Shannon and Cannon had come by with a serving cart. The pleasant smell of black tea had the effect of relieving a bit of the tension.
How much tension can be relieved? Hey! Did you hear?
Hear about what? We haven't heard anything.
Stop it, Rudolph. There's no reason to tell them.
We are furniture, so we have no interest in matters concerning the family conference.
I see. That's a wise answer. You have the midnight shift. That must be rough.
That is our job. We would be happy to receive your orders.
Makes sense to me. At least that'd be better than sitting around awake doing nothing. When I was still down in the bottom rungs, I once worked as a warehouse keeper. Even if you're just staying awake, it's still pretty tough. Right after the war, you had robbers all over this place. Plus, you couldn't rely on the police back then, so it was a pretty dangerous time.
Hideyoshi was particularly proud of how he'd started with nothing and built up assets by illegally diverting goods from the American army.
Jesus. What the fuck? He fucking stole from the American army?
Well, whatever, he's Japanese, who gives a shit?
Jesus.
Once the subject came up, Hideyoshi tended to get pretty talkative.
Yeah, I fucking stole from the Americans. Hell yeah, fuck those pigs.
The relatives who knew this were greatly relieved to see that a perfect sacrifice had come up.
If you got found out, you're in it for big time. Those American people are scary. Their strength's in another league because of all that beef they eat. If you got caught, it'd end with them shooting you or death by hanging. Get it? Death by hanging?
What? I don't get it. What?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, and then I figured it out. It's all about the meat. Japanese people gotta eat more meat. And that's when I got the revelation that I needed to start up a business to win over people's stomachs.
I see. That must have been quite a difficult task.
Stop it, dear. No matter how much you tell people born after the war, they'll never understand how we suffered back then.
Oops, looks like my bad habits jumped out again. Sorry. Wah-ha-ha-ha-ha.
You two should have some tea as well. Every now and then I think it might be helpful for you to use your own tongues to learn more about the tea you're always brewing.
No, we'll be fine. There's no need to be concerned for our sakes.
Hang out with us for a bit. Being surrounded by adults makes me feel like I'm gonna suffocate. Hear that? That's an order from Baylor-sama. From Baylor, the successor. Sit over there and have some tea with us. Then you can talk about recent events, your hobbies, TV shows you're watching, and whatever it is that's popular with the kids these days. There's a lot we could learn.
That's a brilliant idea. Come on, you two sit down too. And why don't you become sacrifices for us now that we crave something to talk about?
What? Sacrifice? What?
Sacrifices.
Wah-ha-ha-ha-ha. That's right. I thought it'd be nice to talk to some young kids, but that'll be pretty hard when I'm too old even to go to a cabaret club.
How long are you planning on standing around there? Rudolph told you to sit. Sit down. I give you permission as well.
After getting Ava's permission, Shannon and Kenton looked at each other and finally obeyed nervously. For a while, the two were pounded by questions and became the relatives' playthings.
Damn. How many feet you got?
A reserved knocking sound could be heard. All of the servants tended to knock in a similar manner, so no one found it strange. However, Shannon and Kenton turned around with surprised looks on their faces. Why?
It was
Servants here
Kenzo.
today included the two of them, Genji, Kumasawa, and Goda. Goda had the midnight shift at the guest house. Kumasawa had gone to bed in a spare room in the guest house. The two of them were right here, so Genji was the only person left. But they knew very well that Genji wouldn't knock like that.
Who is it? It's not locked, just come in.
Rudolph didn't recognize the knock either. When he asked, "Who is it?" it became apparent that no one knew whose knock it was. Is it Erica? After that, the same knock. Thanks, Malcolm.
Thank you, Michael. Malcolm.
Repeated just once more. Could it be that someone had their hands full and was asking that the door be opened for them?
Or could it be a murderer?
As a slightly odd feeling began to encompass the room, the sound of the large clock in the hall could be heard. It was a sign that October 4th had ended, and October 5th had begun.
Whoa. Hot damn.
Let's step back.
No! What's gonna happen? Screw you.
At this time, Klaus and Natsui were a ways off in a deserted corridor on the second floor.
So we no longer have any options.
Yes, the same move probably won't last us all day tomorrow. If we hesitate any longer, there's a chance Ava and the others will call the police claiming that we have father locked up somewhere. This is as far as we can go. Battler finding the gold was completely unexpected. If that hadn't happened, I'd thought of a plan which might have managed to get us through this somehow.
This always happens when I bet on something. Something unexpected always happens, and something that should have been absolutely certain. An absolute certainty goes wrong.
Let's arrange for Father's room to be empty starting tomorrow morning. Let's plan it out with Genji and have him say he saw Father heading out to the forest early in the morning.
I doubt Ava and the others will simply accept such a disappearance.
I'm fully aware of that. However, we have no other options, dummy.
Dummy! If you do such things, Ava and the others would doubtless make a fuss that our actions were suspicious. They aren't worried about the appearances as long as they can squeeze some money out of us. It might end up in some odd magazine and cause serious damage to the confidence placed in me.
Damage is something we can live with, right? If by any chance Father's secret is discovered, we'll face a lot worse than mere damage.
There's nothing wrong with persisting until the last possible second tomorrow. If we're able to make it through safely, we won't have to lose anything. There's no need to get impatient to use that trump card.
You want to wait until after they start clamoring about how we've locked Father up and then say he's gone missing? That way would invite much more suspicion.
Nah.
Let's just put Father to rest now. To go any further would be impossible.
Calm yourself. Being exposed to Ava and the others' venom too much has made you lose your composure, that's all. Only two keys exist. They can let anyone into that study. And you have both of them right here. That means no one can go inside, and the door is of a very special make. No matter what kind of tools they bring out of the storage room, it won't even budge.
It isn't a physical problem like that.
Please don't be hasty and calm down. In any event, you can pretend to have gotten a fever and stay in bed. In the meantime, I will overcome all of this for you.
I can't leave everything to you. I'll fight until the end, too.
When Natsui could no longer hold back the tears brought on by her fierce emotions, Klaus held her gently. Just how long had it been since the last time she'd felt the warmth of her husband's compassion?
Your headache must be awful, yes? It's always that way when you wrinkle your forehead like that.
Oh, dear.
She had come to think that her husband could never guess the way she felt, but at times like this.
Let's wait for the very last moment before using our disappearance trump card. It's like the last resort treasured sword. It's best when it remains in its sheath. The important thing is that you're ready to pull it out at any time, right?
I understand that.
Would you let me handle that trump card? Of course, at the final moment I will take all of the responsibility. I won't get you and Jessica involved.
What do you mean by that?
When the Yoshimi family is destroyed, is it enough that I alone am crushed in the rubble? When the typhoon passes, let's make sure we're ready to file for divorce. I will sign the papers and let you hold on to them. I've secretly left some of my assets in your name. If you add on some compensation, Leonie, that should be enough for you and Jessica to live on without any hindrances.
No. Ushirumi and Natsui is the name that should be engraved on my tombstone. Please let me be with you until the last moment, even if it turns out that you're the last head of the Ushirumi family. Please let Natsui be the name of the wife of the final head. Your wife.
Klaus's existence was founded solely upon the trust and power of his assets as a financial fixer. If either of those weakened, nothing would remain. If they used the trump card of Kinzo's disappearance, they would lose one of those two essential supports. It was like offering your right arm in exchange for your neck being cut. It was probably better than losing your head, but you still might die from the blood loss. And even on the off chance that you did survive, you'd have to bear a heavy wound that wouldn't heal for the rest of your life. Klaus was prepared even for death. Understanding this, Natsui buried her face in Klaus's chest and cried. My apologies for interrupting. Wait, who was knocking on the door of the parlor?
Jeez, fucking who knows, dude? A ghost.
I'm kind of wondering about that now. We haven't got back to that yet. Jeez.
No.
My apologies for interrupting. The sudden appearance of Genji's voice made Natsui jump back and hurriedly wipe the tears from her eyes. Klaus still informed Natsui, shielding her.
Ah, Genji, please don't sneak up on us. Do you have some business?
Yes, my apologies, but I have something to report to Madam.
To me? Dear.
There's a mysterious knock at the door downstairs, and they don't know who it is.
I don't mind.
Klaus left Natsui's side, went to a window a short ways off, and gazed at the windy and rainy Rose Garden. Natsui went with Genji to a place a short distance away.
And killed him.
Well, the truth is another phone call has come for you, madam.
No!
Yeah, remember from that guy.
God, that's creepy.
At that moment, a sudden eerie sound surprised her. It was the large clock in the hall announcing 2400. Maybe the phone call, maybe the guy's on the phone and knocking on the door at the same time.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
You don't mean that man again?
Yes. What is to be done?
Did he say what business he had with me?
I can give you no answer on that matter. He kept insisting that he wanted to speak to you directly. Again, a phone call from the man who claimed to be taking revenge for something that happened 19 years ago. 19 years ago. That was just 1 year before Jessica and Batwell were born. In Natsui's eyes, the gap between 19 years ago and 18 years ago was immense. For a long time, she had been unable to fulfill her role of creating a successor for the Ushiwamiya family and had been treated very coldly. But then she finally gave birth to Jessica and became able to call herself the Ushiwamiya successor's wife with her head held high. So in her eyes, Ushiwamiya Natsui began 18 years ago. That's why everything before that, including the events of 19 years ago, contained nothing but hateful memories. And something from the last year of that hateful period is whispering vengeful words from the other end of the phone.
I can still hear the roar of the sea.
What is to be done?
Transfer it to my room. Don't let my husband know.
As you wish. From the very beginning, Genji had guessed that she wouldn't want Klaus hearing about this phone call. That's why he had told Natsui covertly. Natsui ordered that he transfer the call, told Klaus that she would turn in for the night, and left at a quick pace. She returned to her room and locked the door. There was nothing peculiar about that. In the Ushiwamiya family, hallways are like public roads. There's no special meaning in locking the door when you enter your own room. This is what she told herself. Then, as though it had been waiting for her, the telephone rang. Genji had probably transferred the call. She took a deep breath, readied herself, and picked up the receiver.
Hello?
Again, it started with silence. She realized that the person at the other end was trying to irritate her and make her feel uncomfortable, and she got angry.
Why are you silent? I'm hanging up.
Fuck, I forget this guy's voice.
It's just weird. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Do not hang up, mother. I want to hear your voice a little longer.
Again, that unpleasant voice.
Are you trying to mock me? Tell me what you want to do right now.
I want to play with you, mother.
What? What are you talking about? I have no desire to play with you.
You are tired from the family conflict, right? Is that chronic headache of yours getting to be a pain?
That's none of your business.
Just the fact that he knew her headache was troubling her made a shiver run up her spine.
You get headaches because your head is all stiff. If you go straight to bed like that, you cannot expect to have good dreams.
Haven't I told you that's none of your business? I'm hanging up, man.
Natsui forcefully yelled that she was hanging up, but in actuality, she didn't hang up.
Oh, what the fuck?
After all, being at the receiving end of a phone call was much better than the alternative. If she hung up violently, this person might then call someone else.
Let us play a game to help you relax.
Do you want to play a game?
Do you want to play a game? I will not take up much more of your time.
I have no intention of playing any games with you.
Your name is Natsui, Mother. It has the kanji for a season in it. Pretty nice name. However, just because your name is Natsui that does not mean you like summer. Which season do you really like, Mother?
You think I'll tell you?
If you do not, I will hang up. Is that alright?
It was clearly a threat. It meant that if she forced him to hang up the phone, anything might happen. Humiliated that she was forced to give in to a threat made by a man whose name she didn't even know, she gave him the answer he wanted.
Autumn. Oh shit, that's right.
It's autumn.
Why?
Because it's an easy season to pass the time in. There's no other reason in particular. Are you satisfied now?
Yeah, I am satisfied. So it looks like your favorite season really is the same as mine. I like autumn too.
Liar! You just made that up.
What's even going on?
I don't even know. It's kind of weird.
Surely this man would have done the same thing no matter which season I said I liked. What is he after? What's so fun about making me uncomfortable like this?
It is not nice to call someone a liar. I am not making it up. I already knew you liked autumn, Mother. There is even proof.
Proof?
Yeah. Is there a clock in your room, Mother?
A clock? Yes, there is, but what's your point?
In Natsui's room, there was a beautiful antique clock with an intricate design. Cross had bought it for her as a birthday present long ago.
It's 007 right now. I'm tired, so please get this farce over with quickly.
Try lifting the clock up.
Why?
You really do not know when to shut up. Stop resisting every time I say something. Just shut up and do what I say.
The tone of the man's voice suddenly went low, turning into a threat.
Hey,
It made his displeasure clear. At first, this man seemed to have a calm way of speaking, but on the inside, that wasn't the case at all. If she enraged this man even a little more, he would show his true nature right away.
are you really that eager to make me hang up? Things are best when I talk on the phone with you. I could tell your husband and daughter what happened 19 years ago anytime I want to.
I don't know what you're talking about, but please don't get my husband and daughter involved. I'm listening to everything you say. I have no clue what you're talking about. Don't tell anybody about it.
Then just do what you are told.
Once again, the man threatened her in a low voice, as though warning her not to interrupt again.
My head was filled with the pain from my headache, the sound of my beating heart, and the roar of the sea. I can't disobey him anymore. As the man had ordered, I lifted up the antique clock.
And Autumn was right there, all over the clock. What the hell happened?
There lay what appeared to be a single playing card. Is it the warranty for the clock? Thinking this, she took it and turned it over.
Are you wide awake now?
Eek! Ah! Ah! Why? Why is this here?
What is it?
Well, it would please me if your head is gone down a bit. Tell me that you are happy, Mother.
How did you? Why? How?
I want to hear you say you are happy, murderer. How dare you act like a normal neat freak, Mother? You make me want to vomit. Do you want that to land on your husband and daughter as well? You don't, right? You want me to keep quiet, don't you? Okay, I'll keep quiet. Come on, aren't you happy, aren't you?
I'm happy, so please stop. Don't bring my husband and daughter into this. What is it you want? Money? How much?
I do not want money. My wounds could not be healed with any amount of money. But there is medicine. That is right. It is like a kind of ointment. Thick, syrupy, and dribbling. It's gamer, and that is gamer girl pee. Hatred.
Same thing.
Same thing. My resentment towards you, slathering myself with that, is the only way to hold back the pain.
Natsu had never had anything so hateful said to her in her entire life. So she suspected many times that she must be having some sort of bad dream. However, this definitely wasn't a dream.
You couldn't possibly be on this island right now, are you?
I am. Did I not promise you? I said I would be at the family conference.
That's impossible. There's no way you could have come during this typhoon.
That would be no problem if I came before the typhoon reached here. And I am pretty sure this guest called Erica or whatever arrived even during the typhoon.
Her blood flows. Furuto Erica had supposedly been brought here by coincidence. If he knew that name, he would have to be very close by.
Where are you?
I will not appear in front of anyone until you introduce me. Do not worry. Oh yes, it is useless to try and search for me. Your mansion is huge, and you have no shortage of phones I could be calling from. Besides, I am sure you do not want to meet me, right? Or else do you want to expose me and introduce me to everyone? Introduce me to Jessica too? Tell her I am her older brother by 1 year.
Stop it! Stay away from Jessica!
I guess I have scared you a bit too much. That is all for me for tonight. But do not forget, you cannot disobey me. Understand, Mother?
Yes!
I'm going to hang up for the night, but I have an order that must be followed until tomorrow morning.
Well, what is it?
You may no longer leave that room tonight, and you may not make a phone call to anyone. If a phone call comes through, you are not allowed to take it. You will turn the lights off right now, get in bed and sleep. Then you will wake up at your ordinary time. It sure is nice to live a healthy life. I really am such a good son, working so hard for the sake of my mother's body.
I understand. I'll go to sleep right now. I won't leave my room and I won't pick up the phone, so don't involve my husband and daughter.
As long as you follow my orders, I will keep your secrets, Mother. Do not disobey me. I am already very close by to you. I can easily tell whether you have turned your lights off, or whether you are on the phone. If I wish, I could even kiss your sleeping face.
I'll keep it. I'll keep my promise, so stop it. Just stop it. Stop it!
As she screamed, Natsui took the card she had found under the clock and clutched it up into a little ball. It had a pattern on it like a tarot card, and also the kanji for autumn.
Who is that knocking? Tell me. Tell me.
It's probably Genji.
Bad
Let's
word.
step back in time once again.
What the hell?
Right now, it is the exact moment that the large clock in the hall announced 2400. Wondering who the person who knocked twice was, the relatives in the dining hall stared at the door. Rudolph told them to come in, but there was no answer. until the end of that long tone marking the arrival of 2400, which had come from the large clock in the hall shortly after the knock. They were unable to move in the slightest.
Maybe their hands are full and they can't open it. Maybe, but it's a bit creepy that they won't say their name.
Normal. Should I open it?
Do so.
Kenna nodded back and slowly opened the door. Is nobody there, or is someone there, or what's...
Ooh.
Is it Kinzo?
What are we gonna see? Ah, what's that? Whoa! It's one of Father's envelopes.
Right behind the open door on the floor of the hallway lay the envelope. There's no one in the hallway. Perhaps they placed this here and left. The adults flew out into the corridor as well, but they could find no trace of anyone who might have knocked on the door. What if it was Kraus?
Oh boy, what if it was?
Just about an hour ago, Shannon and Kenna had come in to serve tea. At that time, everyone had seen that nothing lay in that spot. Someone came, knocked, left an envelope with the mark of the one-winged eagle on it, and left. Could it have been the master?
It's not unthinkable. Father's pretty much the only person in this mansion who would refuse to answer when asked who he was. That's not possible. If that were the case, why wouldn't Father come in here openly?
That's right. If Father'd probably just barge in here without knocking. The doors and windows of this mansion are locked now, right? In that case, the only people who could have conceivably left a letter there are Kraus, Natsui, and Genji.
Kraus, Natsui, and Genji.
By this point, the mansion had been completely locked up. Therefore, the cousins in the guest house, Nanjo, Goda, Kumasawa, and Alika, could not have come here. Furthermore, since Kraus, Natsui, and Genji were the only three who weren't in this room, one of those three had to have been the one who had set that letter down in the corridor. So it was very likely that Kraus and the others had placed the letter there to make it seem like a message from Kinzo.
I see. It'll have something written on it that's supposedly in Father's name, saying that he won't accept Violet as successor or something of the sort. Ridiculous. I can't believe you tried to pull such a childish trick.
Well, it's not like I give a damn about being a successor. Give it up, that's just your fate. Anyway, why don't we read what's inside?
Rudolph set the letter on the dining hall table, and would everyone see the front and back to show that there were no twigs or hidden mechanisms, almost like a magician does before performing his act. Can we be sure this envelope is one of Father's?
Yeah, no doubt about it. Father liked to use this kind of envelope for handwritten letters. What do you think, Shannon?
Yes, to my eyes as well, it looks like the type of envelope that the master uses.
Excuse me. That doesn't mean Father was the one who wrote it. It would be pitifully easy for Big Brother to snatch one of these from a drawer in Father's study.
Even Klaus would not be able to enter the study easily. It might be hard for him to steal an envelope.
Let's try opening it. We can worry about all that later. Feels like there's something in it. I wonder what.
It's a letter.
Whoa!
That's
weird.
What's in it.
Damn.
Rudolph opened the envelope a bit roughly. Then a folded letter, and a glittering object fell out. It was a wing.
Ooh. Huh? Oh, wait a second, isn't that a ring?
Ava noticed it immediately and grabbed at it.
This is Father's ring, isn't it? It's the head's ring.
What in the... Seriously?
Are you sure it's Father's? Could it be a replica?
No, this is the real thing. I've always dreamed about wearing this ring on my finger someday. Even though Father wore this on his finger, I know more about it than anyone else. This is Father's ring, no doubt about it. Why is it here? Does that mean it really was Father who wrote this letter?
The sender isn't Father. It's much more interesting than that.
Then who is the letter from?
The Ushimi family alchemist. It's from the Golden Witch Beatrice.
Rudolph showed everyone the part of the letter where that was written. It really did say that.
It's from Beatrice?
What's it say?
I'll read it. Congratulations! I acknowledge that Balor spectacularly solved the Epitaph's riddle and reached the Golden Land. All of the gold belongs to Balor. Furthermore, Balor is the new head of the Ushimi family. As proof, I send the head's ring, which Kinzo left in my charge. Balor, I beg that you take the ring, become the new master of the gold, and guide the Ushimi family. I sincerely pray that you flourish as the new head. What the hell? I see. Dad just won't come out of his study, so Beatrice, the Witch of the Forest, has acknowledged Balor directly.
Balor, you take that ring. This is a special ring to be worn by the family head. I don't know who this Beatrice is, but she's watched the whole thing and sent you this ring after acknowledging you as the true successor. Is that okay? It's such an important ring.
Yeah, it's fine. You should wear it proudly on your finger. Got it? Even if Anaki and Atsui tell you to take it off, you'd better not do it.
All of the relatives, with sleepy smiles on their faces, urged Badwell to put the ring on his finger. It looked like things would get pretty nasty if he refused, so Badwell reluctantly decided to put it on the middle finger of his left hand. The ring was heavy and stiff. At that moment, Klaus returned. Genji came back as well, shortly behind him.
My apologies. It seems my wife is not at her best, so she's gone to bed early. Did something happen? You all seem incredibly flustered.
Badler, isn't that... Immediately, Genji keenly spotted that which Badler just put on his finger.
Your eyesight's pretty good, Genji. Looks like you know whose ring this is.
What? What are you talking about?
Judging by Klaus's dubious expression, it seemed unlikely that he was the one who had placed the letter there. Furthermore, that expression quickly changed into one of shock.
That's right, it's the Ushimi family head's ring.
The family conference took up this new topic, and the storm came once again.
It's gotta be exhausting fighting like that in the middle of the night.
Three in the morning.
Damn.
Yeah, that's the end of that one.
Yeah. Alright. Well, that was pretty fun.
Yep. Well,
Yeah.
so what are your thoughts? There's a few little mysteries in there.
Yeah, a few little mysteries. So,
Yeah, like, who is calling Natsui? Who left the letter at the door?
Who is
'Cause I said
calling
it might be Kraus, but, Kraus?
but Kraus couldn't have done it because
Well, like, why would he have done that? Because that's bad for him.
Yeah. So, I don't know, maybe, I'm thinking it was maybe Genji.
Genji. But Genji was talking to Natsui while, at midnight, right?
Yes.
And that was when the knocks were happening.
Shit. This is a pickle.
No, it isn't.
What do you mean?
Well, this is a story, not a pickle.
Fine. Fine, I guess. But yeah, so it
I'm
seems
Pickle
like...
Rick!
God damn it. So it seems like the person who's calling Natsui is like her son, her like 19-year-old son, or some shit.
Yeah, from 19 years ago.
From 19 years ago. But I don't think Natsui had cheated on her husband. So it must be some deranged lunatic or something like that.
Well, yeah, and you think that Kraus would have noticed if she got pregnant.
Yeah. Right. Yes. That is very strange. I think we haven't seen any of the Red Truths being like, there are only 19 people, 18 people on this island. Ooh.
Well, no, we saw a Red Truth that said, with Furuto Erica there are no more than 18 people on the island.
18 people on the island, alright.
Because it went down to 17 because Kinzo died, but now
Yes.
Erica's there, so it's 18 again.
Yes. Pretty good stuff.
Yeah. Okay, goodbye,
Okay,
everybody.
goodbye,
We're
everybody.
going to the party.
Bye.